Du hast mein Design gestohlen. Hey guys, welcome back. There's some angry Germans out there, and they're angry about the fact that Haenel apparently stole the design of the HK416. Surprise, surprise. It was stolen according to HK. Now, they had patents on it and all sorts of stuff, and when Haenel won the German military contract to replace the German G36 with what we know as the CR223, HK immediately sued to stop that from happening. And even though the Haenel won the contract, it was immediately stopped from being implemented, and HK drug Haenel through the court system, and they recently got a ruling, which isn't public yet, but we have it from German authorities that, based on articles that are being written in the United States right now, that this gun, according to the German government, is contraband, and they've ordered Haenel to gather up all the CR223s and destroy them and prove to the German government that they have been destroyed. They also have requested all financial records of anybody that sold these, and they want to find out what the financial damages are, so they presumably can go after Haenel for additional damages on top of whatever ruling's already been handed down, which hopefully we'll see sometime soon. The interesting point being that the German government has mandated that all of these guns, they've just said all of them, are to be collected up and destroyed. Now, there's no legal obligation, based upon an article written by John Crump, for American companies to round them up and destroy them. So these were imported by B&T USA, and they still have the CR, this is the Haenel here, they still have the CR223 on the side, but they also have the BT15 on the side. And we're going to talk a little bit about what it was that H&K, based on the information that we have, sued Haenel over and won this ruling. So that's what we're going to talk about today's video. We have an HK MR556A1. We have a clone build of a 416 here based on Brownell's parts and real German parts. And we'll kind of break down what we know regarding what Haenel copied that HK went after them for, which prompted this court decision. Stick around, this should be an interesting video. This is the clone of the HK416, a rifle many Americans would love to own, but HK doesn't want you to have it. What they've forced upon the U.S. consumer market is the MR556A1. Now, this has gone through some evolutionary changes. This is an early model that has the early handguard on it and has the heavy profile barrel. HK kind of listened to the revolting customers and put a lighter profile barrel on it. They now have an M-lock handguard on it, so it's gone through some evolutionary changes, but a 416 it still isn't, but it's closer, and these things are not inexpensive. So consumers have been wanting to get their hands on these, which has prompted companies like Brownell's to build kits where you can get the proper profiled barrel, and they've taken HK 416 kits and gotten the handguards from them. This is an earlier handguard, and they've tried to give you all the parts that you need to build a gun, which doing that, especially at today's prices, given the kits just really aren't out there anymore, gets really, really expensive. So it sure would be nice if somebody came along and made the gun available that we all want, but HK doesn't want to sell us. And that's pretty much what Haenel did. They were also chasing the German government contract to replace the G36 with the new infantry rifle. And as I mentioned at the opening of the video, this gun actually did win that contest, but it was quickly thwarted by HK in legal action. So this gun was imported by B&T USA and is still on the US market currently. You'll still find them out there online for sale, but the German government has ordered Haenel to stop manufacturing them and to stop selling them, so they're no longer available. Modern collectible? Probably. Now, these things are already expensive. They're $3,000 or more, so we don't really know if it's a really solid investment if you're looking to buy one of these as an investment to sell down the road. They're already expensive. They may go up to $4,000, maybe $5,000, but it's not a real HK416 either, so it's not like it's going to command an actual 416 price down the road. Then we also have the very real possibility that our own U.S. government may ban things like this in the future, and then if you invest in this, even if they let you keep the guns and they grandfather them, they'll ban the resale of them, according to previous attempts by people like Pelosi and all those Chucky Schumer and all those guys, and their assault weapons ban, air quotes. They've proposed all sorts of things along those lines, and sadly, someday that may come to pass. But we don't want to get into that negativity in today's video. We want to talk about the Haenel and what HK did. So HK, based on articles that we've read, AmmoLand being the first, and we read one from John Crump, and then we jumped on HK Pro and tried to get some information about what the actual information was regarding the changes that 416 has to it that makes it over the beach capable, or OTB. So the MR556A1, the clones that are out there, all have some of the features of OTB, but HK keeps that information pretty close to its chest as to what all the changes are to the 416 to make it OTB capable. So just buying a 416 doesn't guarantee you that it's going to be over the beach capable. If you're a military, a law enforcement agency, and you're ordering 416s, you have to specify you want that particular capability. Then they'll manufacture the gun to have it. But all of the variants have some evidence of the over-the-beach capabilities. For example, this is not where HK sued. If you look at the back of the Haenel, it has a single drain hole back here, much like an M16A2 on the buffer tube. If you take a look at the actual HK design, and this is in the patent that's referenced in the Ammo Land article, if you look back here, you'll see the center hole and then 3 drain holes around the outside. Lots of holes there, so when the carrier comes back, it can eject water out the back of the extension. So that's just one of the many things that would be considered over-the-beach functionality, but this gun is not over-the-beach capable. HK says the MR556A1 is not over-the-beach capable, but clearly it has some of those features built into it. So what HK went after Haenel for was the breach. Now, the information that we have doesn't specify what specifically about the breach that HK went after Haenel for, but if you take a look at the 416 barrel itself, there's a different chamfer to it, there's a pin in there that helps support the extractor, there's a number of different things that have been done in the breach area that would constitute over-the-beach capabilities. Now if you take a look at the Haenel, another thing that we've seen on the carrier, which seems to be related to over-the-beach, would be the cuts to the carrier. We have relief cuts made here and then on the bottom, and when you put this into the receiver extension, you'll see that there's quite a bit of room for water to get out of the way as the carrier goes rearward to come forward over the back of the bolt carrier. And then of course, if you have the drain holes in the rear, that's a lot of room for water to escape the system, allowing the gun to run right after bringing it out from being fully submerged in water. So what should you do if you're an American, you have one of these, and you're concerned that the German government's going to come snatch your weapon from you? So, what do you say to the German government? I don't speak German very well, but Google does.
Geh zurück in dein eigenes Land.
Yeah, basically go back to your own country. Ban your own guns. HK, instead of sitting around suing everybody because they're cloning your design that everybody wants, why don't you just make the thing so everybody can buy it? This costs as much as an HK. If HK would just make the gun that everybody wants, then they would sell it and print money. But they don't want to do that. They would rather just sell it to governments and then go after anybody that sells them to civilians. Copies of them anyway, or guns that are very much similar, let's put it that way. I don't know if this is a copy or not. It certainly looks like one to me, but I'm not an engineer or a patent attorney, so I don't know. So, HK, if you want to impress the gun buying public, quit suing to get gun bans enacted and just make the gun everybody wants. If you own one of these as an American, hold your middle finger high and shoot your gun with pride. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Found it to be informational. And if you would like to support us in our effort to bring you content like this, please consider becoming part of our Patreon family. There is a link in the video description below. We'll also put a link to the Ammo Land article and John Crump's article down below as well, so you can educate yourself as to what's actually going on with the Haenel CR223. If you would like to support us right here on YouTube in the age of demonetization, you have a little join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Mash that join button and support us right here on YouTube. Last but not least, please swing by and check out Copper Custom. Thank you for 15 years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon.